Hello guys, the first version of the circle array is added now to Fast Carve, and here you can see a short preview of this feature. You just have to press Ctrl Shift and C to activate it, and the center of the array is the 3D cursor. Okay, so let me show you the Python implementation. The current version is 0.9.2.3, and I added a new operator which is called fcCircleArrayModeOperator. Just like we did for the other classes, you have to register this. And then I added the keyboard shortcut to activate this operator, and this is pressing C, Shift and Ctrl. I also included this operator to the panel for the selected objects. Here you can see I added this operator, this circular array, as a new row directly below the array operator. So let's have a look at the operator class. It extends the BLUIOT_draw operator. Here's the operator's ID. And as I did for the simple array mode operator, I add a drag panel, a label and an up-down widget, and this is all we need to configure this circular array operator. Here I add the widgets, the label and the up-down widget to the list of widgets, also the panel. Then I store the active object as a member variable and call initWidgetValues. In this method I check if an array modifier with the name fcCircleArray has already been added, and if not I create one, but before I set the origin of the object for which I want to add an array modifier to the location of the 3D cursor. For the array modifier I don't use relative offset, I use object offset, and for the object I use an empty that I create here, linked to the scene, and the location of this I also set to the 3D cursor. Then I set this empty to be the offset object for the array modifier, and I also store it in the ID map of the active object so that we can refer to it later on. Then I set the value of the up-down widget to the count of the array modifier. The method onItemCountValue changed is called when the value of the up-down widget has changed, and this is registered here where the up-down widget is created. Okay, so let's start Blender and see what already works with this implementation. I move this cube here along the x-axis, then I press Ctrl, Shift and C. The operator is invoked, here we have the widget and the empty, but of course when I change the up-down value now, the array modifier doesn't change as well. So what we have to do is to implement the callback method, but before I will go for a ride because it's a great weather here in Germany and I don't want to miss it. That rocks. Here are some impressions that I could record. My advice is keep your eyes and your mind always open to inspire yourself and to improve your creativity. Okay, now I'm loaded again to go ahead and create this algorithm. First of all, let's get the circle array modifier from the active object that we stored as a member variable. And then I set the count of this array modifier to the parameter value, which is the current value of the up-down widget. After that, I calculate the angle, the decrease, that we have to use to rotate the empty object, and this is 360 divided by the value. To get the empty object, we use the ID circleEmpty that we stored for the active object, and I initialize the rotation of the empty to the rotation of the active object. Okay, just assign it, and after that I rotate the empty around the z-axis, the local z-axis, and for the angle decrease I used, so I convert it to radians. Alright, I think that's it, so I go back to Blender and test it. Again, with the cube selected, I press Ctrl, Shift and C. The circular array is added with 2 items. Now I increase the count, and as you can see, this seems to work. What you can do as well, and this is pretty cool, is you go to Edit mode and then you change the mesh, and the widget panel is still open, and this means you can stay in Edit mode and change the item count. Okay, what I also want to test is to create this circular array for a rotated face. which means to snap it to a rotated face. So I go to edit mode first, then I snap the 3D cursor to this active face. Then I switch to object mode and add an object, for example a cylinder. And as I did in the previous tutorial, I set here the snapping options to face and check align rotation to target. Okay, then I enable snapping, then press G and X to move the object along the X-axis, and here you can see it is snapped to the face. Then I activate the circle array again by pressing Shift, Ctrl and C. And then we have a circle array that is rotated according to the face of this object. If you want to use this now for a Boolean operation, you have to apply the array modifier. After that, open the Fast Carve panel and define the target. Select the cylinders again, and then you can press difference, for example, to cut into the mesh. Okay guys, this is a kind of alpha version for the circular array. I want to add some more features to it to simplify the process even more. If you like this add-on and my channel, then don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and you can support the development by being my patron. This would really help. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you on JNM.